Everyone, and welcome back to Your Fab Life. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing the Jessica Rich, who is, if you have been hiding underneath the rock, she is an amazing designer based in LA. I'll let her tell you more about herself, but I'm super excited to have her on. If you were with us during the pandemic, I know it was 4 years ago, you can check out her on our virtual panel for Manifest Your Destiny Women's Virtual Conference during the pandemic. She was one of the people that we interviewed for that as well. So, Jessica, thank you for coming back
Thanks
and
for having me.
speaking to my audience. I know people will be super excited. You're actually going to be the first episode back. So, you're on break. So, yeah,
Yay,
people
thank
are
you.
super
I love being the
excited.
first.
Definitely, definitely. Um, so you are a designer, entrepreneur, influencer, you're all these things, but I know your main thing is um, you are a designer. Why did you choose to become a designer, or did designing choose you?
Designing chose me, honestly. It really, really did. It was something that I always subconsciously loved in like high school. I was always into fashion and my mom, I was like very big into that because my mom comes from like a very stylish like personality. Like it's one of those things when your mom sets the table, there's no one coming over with other plates look amazing. The towels are like perfect. Don't touch those are for looks. I'm like, mom, who was looking at this besides me and my brother? Like who else is it? So she was always very stylish and you would never like she looked always great. So you would never know we come from nothing because like the way she styled fits were just like from Kmart. It looked like it was from Dolce. So she's very well put together. That kind of was in my upbringing as like being like a young adult daughter and like just a teenager and stuff like that. And then I got to high school and I never wore like sneakers or anything to high school. I was always wearing heels and dressed up, and I used to get bullied a lot for being like the Oreo girl, like oh, you're black, but you're so white, or you're so preppy. And I'm like, dude, because I have like good style. Excuse me, sorry, my thing is off here.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Because I have good style and I have good mannerisms. I mean, that's not really a fair statement, but I kind of just owned it. And after a while, I kind of stopped letting it get to me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm meant to stand out versus blend in, and I'm going to use this like aura that I do have that people keep picking on to my advantage. So basically, fast forward through my reality show days, me coming to LA, trying to ride off that 15 minutes of fame, then me seeing that Instagram was a new capital way to like push sales. So what I did was I started my own online store of just selling jewelry, just to make another income outside of like the reality money that was slowly fading away. Because obviously you can't ride that wave for too long. So I just got into costume jewelry because I loved it, and then I did my own online store from that, and then that kind of faded away because I feel like no matter how many influences I had in it, I wasn't making enough to stop my side jobs and stuff like that. So I completely stopped doing jewelry and transitioned into PR marketing because I basically just like knew a lot of people. I'm someone who like I'm a network crazy person. Wherever I go somewhere, I'm always seeing who's who do I talk to. Like even if I don't know them, I'll see them. Oh, I know that person. I'll just DM them like on site, like, hey, I'm in the restaurant with you. I want to connect. Boom. I'm so crazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I built this Rolodex of friends and people that other brands started noticing, and they said, hey, Jess, can we start utilizing your friends to post for us besides yourself? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I can also give my dress to, let's say, J Lo, or I give it to Dre Michelle. I can give it to these people, but I'm gonna have to charge you for it. I can't just do it for
Yeah,
free. And that's kind
yeah.
of what happened. So I did PR marketing for 2 years, just randomly, like I said. It wasn't something I wanted to be as a publicist. So I
Right.
just used my own, contacts to build my own company. And then from that, after like 2 years, I think I did it for, and then I built brands. And I didn't think anything of it. I was so happy just getting a monthly stipend check. I still did my thing on the side. I was still trying to be a hostess on E! News. I was still trying to be Lala Anthony. I was still trying to be like Fashion Police. I was still trying to be like a host. I never in a million years thought I'd be a designer. And then after, the contracts were over, they, oh, we don't need you anymore. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? And my friends were like, Jessica, you've done this for yourself. Just build your own brand. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. And I just kind of got into it again. But I restarted with clothing this time. So then clothing transitioned to shoes. And here we are.
Here we are. Here we
Yeah.
are. Well, your shoes are amazing. I know
Thank
so many people obviously have copied them since then, but I thought it was such an amazing idea because I would always say when I did see your shoe launch, I was like, I need shoes that can go with everything. Like I don't, so the whole like clear, like that I was just like, this is genius. I can
you.
literally wear them like with everything. So
Yeah.
no, kudos to you. Like you said, it doesn't take like 20 good ideas. It can
Yeah.
take like one good idea and then you just kind of go from there. Now, there's some people that go to FIT and they do they actually do schooling for design. Obviously,
Yeah.
you kind of fell into it. You spoke about it just a second, how you kind of went from styling to shoes. Are
Right.
shoes easier? Like if somebody's trying to be a designer, like you said, you can be a designer, jewelry, shoes, clothes. Like, I guess, how did you figure, well, I could continue to design all these things. Are shoes just easier? Like, how did
You
you
know
feel?
what? At that time, so when I did start doing clothing, I was doing buying and selling. I was just buying and selling stuff that was already designed. I
I
slapped my label in the back of it so it looks a little bit more luxe versus just having like a random tag. And then after I started putting on celebrities and stuff, and I'd see J Lo in like a dress that I just bought from like the garment district or whatever, and it was actually a House of CB design. I didn't know that, and the placement came out on Fashion Bomb Daily. It said Jessica Rich, J Lo and Jessica Rich, da, da, da. And then House of CB DMs me and says, "That's my dress," and I'm like, okay, I need to start designing clothes now because I can't get other people pressed. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So that's when I started doing different designs on my own. And then I did design a couple of things and I started doing that. And I was only doing that. And I'll never forget, I'm actually looking at a picture right now on my wall of
Mhm.
Kourtney Kardashian, a mesh dress that I designed just for Kim. Her stylist reached out to me and I gave it to Kim, but Kim had just gotten robbed in Paris and I'm
Serious.
okay. But I was actually I was at Catch in LA and I was there and I saw Kourtney there and I was actually stocked in all the Dash stores. So I had a relationship with them already, but I saw Kourtney there and I didn't even look at her dress. I just said, "Hi, how are you? Oh my God, so happy we're in the stores." Da, da, da. And the next morning I wake up and I'm like looking at my tabloids and it says Jessica Rich, Kourtney Kardashian. I'm like, what the heck? I went to take a picture with her last night and I'm like, wait a minute, she's wearing the dress that I gave Kim, but Kourtney had it, but it wasn't
Uh,
translating. Like, you know what I mean? And
look
the
at
fact that
that.
she
Yeah.
at the same restaurant that I was wearing my dress, I'm like, this is so. When I tell you, I feel like God is so over my life. Like it's down to the smallest things. Like I'll be
Yeah.
somewhere and like manifestation is so big, but I really feel like I'm very spiritual, and I feel like God. There's no way of all places I could have been that night, and she's wearing my dress. It was crazy. So that was like a great thing. Okay, people actually like your designs. You have an eye on something. I kept going with that, but I think what made me stop clothing is because when Fashion Nova came out, maybe like 2016, whatever it came out, my clothing sales started to drop because my stuff was over 150, over 200. It was more expensive luxe versus cheap, and you couldn't compete with that marketing. And we had every celebrity across the board posting Fashion Nova at that time. I couldn't personally call my friends and say, "Hey, China, post for me 10 times a day," if I'm not paying China $50,000 to do.
Right. Right. No,
You
that
know what I
makes sense.
mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to like make cross those boundaries to your friends who actually support you, for just naturally. So yeah, I think that's when the guy that I was dating at the time said, "Jessica, you should do shoes," and I'm like, I can't do shoes. Like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm not gonna compete with Christian Louboutin. Like, I can't. I'm not a real like, shoe designer. So after like 6 months of sitting on the whole like idea, that's when I looked down and I had 7 pair of Christian Louboutin shoes, and I had every color. And I'm like, wait, I can't keep traveling to New York with 7 pairs of shoes. How do I
Mhm.
make this one style everything? And that's what the clear idea, the clear
Mhm.
thought came along.
Yeah,
And then
it just popped, and then the rest is history. Because now you
the
have
rest is history.
the
Literally,
rest
that's
of it.
too.
Yeah, because now you have all these cool variations. Well, it sounds like what you're saying is that if you're going to go into the design world, yeah, you can do all of these things. You can do jewelry, you can do clothes, you can do shoes,
Yeah.
but you have to look at the market you're in now,
Yeah.
like what's in
Yeah.
demand, what would be your competition. It sounds like with you, like you said, what could I also do that would make me stand out? Because nobody's like fighting over necessarily the shoe market. Because like you said, it sounds hard, right? Like it's not like
Yeah.
design shoes. So you don't have a lot of people. I love that a lot of people were not obviously jumping in that space. And you just said, you know what? Let me just start thinking about it. And once you got the one idea, the rest is
Yeah.
so yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely
No,
think if
totally.
someone's listening, they should consider how can they stand out in this space with whatever they're designing.
Whatever they're doing. Yeah. I mean, it's whatever you're doing, honestly. It's like, you know what? It kind of comes down to it because, like, let's just say, like, I just started my handbag line, right? So it's very actually, I have one of them here. I'll show you. But
Mhm,
I'll make started
mhm,
doing that because people are just like, Jess, we're so tired of trying to match up with a Gucci bag with your shoes, but the green's different. Like, make something that matches
mhm.
exactly. So I'm not like,
You can like cross market the bags with the shoes. So smart.
yeah. So this is like one of the little designs. It's so cute. It's like a little
Oh
bucket bag.
yeah, so cute. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
totally.
I love like my pants are like full I love like diamond stuff, but all my shoes are silver or gold across the board. So you know, it's always a cute little bag. And if you're casual, like I had like an aloe fit on the other day, like just gym clothes, this bag and like a little mule, and I was ready to go out to the bar after. Like it was like from day to night, you know? So I just feel
Yeah,
like
yeah. I tell people all the time it doesn't take a lot. It could just be like a pair of shoes or purse. Like
right.
it doesn't take a lot to like transform your outfit. But no, that's amazing. I don't know if people knew you were working on the bag. So if you're listening, yes, she
Yeah,
makes
it was a
bags.
secret. I put it out like maybe a month ago, and we're about to carry them in Nordstrom's now. So Nordstrom's agreed to take them on, which is great.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So excited for that. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part of your business and then the most difficult?
Good question. You know what? It's crazy because I handle stress very well. Like if there's nothing wrong in a day, it's kind of awkward for me. Like even today was kind of a smooth day. I'm like, what's going on? Like what's going on? Like I don't know. It's like an awkward thing. No, but like I think the most fun part is like designing because I know I'm really good at that and I love seeing it come from like idea to like really in my hand.
Mhm.
And then also the unknown of like, you know, what's next because I'm like I want to plan things. I want this to happen, but God is just naturally putting things in my place as they should come
Like,
down to yeah, like just down to even like placements. Like how many times I've had placements come out like 7 months later, a year later, people thought it was like yesterday. I'm like, I was waiting for that placement for like 8 months. They've had that shoot, you know? So just putting it out to the media and them thinking like one way and me telling them on a reel later, like, oh guys, yeah, I gave that like 3 days, like, you know, a month ago, we finally got the play. People don't understand the behind the scenes is more like crazy than they think it is, you know?
mhm,
It's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, you know?
mhm. So what's your favorite part? What's the most difficult part? I know you handle stress well, but what is something you could like do without?
I think the most difficult part would be maintaining like you know having to have all of your like a retail accounts happy because there's things that fluctuate in all department stores. So like you know if one thing is on sale one place, someone's like, okay, why is that on sale? But I can't control if that person puts it on sale. So it's a whole make sure everyone has the same price point on sale at the same time. That could be probably the most difficult, I'd say, because we always want to make sure our retailers are happy. Of course, they've taken
Mhm.
a lot of initiative and partner with us and you know, are putting this across their platforms and giving their customers, you know, an opportunity to purchase Jessica Rich on their site. So just making sure that they're all in line with price points. I'd say that's the biggest
Mhm.
strategy for sure.
Mhm.
The second part, honestly, is me getting out of my head because as much as I'm, you know, even right now, like I'm going through a new rebrand and it's going to be now me in front of the camera again more because I feel like in the beginning, all I had was myself to like really market my brand. But now over the years, I've just like hired models or I'm like, no, I don't know what it is. I'm just a very humble person. And I feel like if it's just too much of me, it's like, get out of here. Jessica, you're already in our face all the time. We're so tired of seeing you. Like, I feel like that sometimes. But I had like a one-on-one with my good friends the other day. And she's like, no, Jessica, reel it back to what was in the beginning. Like you have to think of something's telling me inside to get more in front of the camera. So I'm doing a whole campaign moving forward, which is Jessica Rich, and I'm just gonna ride that. And I love how Kylie Jenner does it and Kim K does
Mhm.
it, and they're fine with being in front of the camera all the time. So why do I have a problem doing so when I
Well, you know
love
what
the
it
camera?
well, you know what it is, just to give you a little encouragement, your stuff is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I there's not a shoe I've seen that I don't like that you designed, but people are really buying you. I'm sure someone has told you in some sort of mentoring capacity. Because
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, Callie's lip kit, whatever, but I've seen a million lip kits. People are buying it because they support her. They love who she is. They love what she represents. You have so
right.
many people that are inspired by just a simple Instagram post for you. So I definitely think you putting yourself more in your, I mean, it is your name. Like,
I
yes,
know, I
to
know.
wear this stuff, but it's like for Jessica Rich to be wearing Jessica Rich, like it seems obvious, but no, I hear what you say. Maybe at the beginning you're like, well, I don't want to make it too much about me. Like I want people to focus on the designs, but now that you've done it in such a huge way. Yeah, I think it is cool to just throw yourself in there from time to time
Yeah,
and campaign and make it about you. I think people um would really enjoy that. Who would you
thank
say
you.
is a mentor, if any, that you have? I know your mom kind of was early inspiration, but is there anybody in the design game where you're like, I aspire to be like this person has this success. I could hope
Oh, Tom Ford for sure. Tom
come
Ford is
forward.
my muse for sure. Yeah. When
Okay.
I
Yeah.
say why, because you know what it is, it's like he's so edgy and like he pushes the envelope and he's sexy and he doesn't care. Like he calls his colognes fucking fabulous. Like he's so out of the out of the box when it comes to like the typical, you know, European brand. He's from the States, so he made it from being a US designer. And that's very hard. Like, luxury. I remember when I first started, like 2 years in, that, oh, well, you're not a luxury brand. I'm like, you know what luxury brand means? Luxury brand means someone who's been around for 30, 20 plus years, who's based out of Europe, who can't, you can't compete with that. That's not going to ever happen again. Those brands will be those brands. But I am aspiring to be that brand. Maybe I'm not $800, but can my brand evolve to a higher price point? Yes. But does that mean I'm not luxury? No. Luxury just means it's well crafted, very made in a way. It's the way it's presented to the public, So I love that, and that's his trajectory is definitely what I'm definitely trying to do, and I would love to do something with him one day.
What is your best piece of advice of someone pursuing designing? Again, maybe they have decided what they're going to design. It's like you said, it doesn't really matter what you're designing. You're a designer in this space. You're coming into this space. What would you say is like one or two pieces of advice? Yeah.
I would say just go for it. Like, just start, because people think you need a lot of money to start. Like, you don't need a lot. I started my brand with $1,000 literally, and I just got the basics, like the Shopify Instagram. I could Shopify the Instagram, the LLC. I put the LLC even on a payment plan when I first started. I think it was like $800. But everything, like, I was like, we're doing this for bare minimum just to get started. And I think you just have to get out of your head and just go. When I thought like no one would buy one shoe, I used to tell my mom, like, Mom, no one's gonna buy this. Like, who's gonna buy this? Like, of course I might get a couple sales, but to be what this is, like, no way. I never thought. So just getting started and just trusting your instinct. And the worst you could ever hear is no. And when you hear no, you'll eventually hear yes. People would say, Jessica, I don't know whose follow-up skills are better. You or like, you follow up so well. Like, if I don't hear, like, hey guys, so just following up. It's been 3 days. Like, just following up again.
I love that. Yeah, no, you got to put yourself out there and just do it. And I love the secondary piece of advice of also following up, because if you are designing, at the end of the day, you're not providing a service, you're providing a product that you have to network and get out there, and you have to follow. I think they said it's a follow up. That's the part that most people don't get. Maybe they'll meet someone, they'll network, but they'll be too scared to follow up, or they waited too late. But the follow up. They say the mastery is definitely in the follow up. Tell us about a time how someone doubted you and you use that to either fuel you or turn it into a win.
I think when I go to Michigan, like when I go there, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm the one who like made it like from my high school. So, that whole thing, like getting bullied by all those girls who used to stand around my locker and be like, oh, you're this, you're that. I'm like, yeah, but you're buying my shoes now, and you're still living in Michigan, and you still. I'm gonna stop there because I'm just not gonna get petty. But that would be my ammunition.
A little petty on the podcast.
A little. So that kind of thing, and and it's one of those things where it's like, I can complain as much as I want about my life, and I can say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, but if you're not gonna get up and change it and make a way to change, like, oh, I want to be like you, be like you. Well, get up and be like me. You know what I mean? Like, I've laid it out in so many interviews on how to get started.
And she got some backlash, but she's like, you have to work.
You have to do something. Yeah, you can't just wake up.
I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I work, and I work all the time.
I don't sleep. Literally, like, I'm up all the time. No, but you have to really go after what you want and really put. So that's the 1% of success. Like, that 1% that makes it is the person who's willing to do anything and everything to get it done. Like, literally, like, even my Steve Madden collab, like, oh my God, how did you do that? Did you pay someone? I'm like, who did I pay someone? You can't pay Steve Madden for collaboration. You're crazy. He reached out to me, like,
He recognized your work and wanna work with you. So.
Yes, 1000%. But I had to follow up because Steve is just like me. He's very now. Like, he gets sidetracked pretty quickly. So even when we did finally meet up in person, it took me a year to close the deal because half the time he answers the phone, half the time he doesn't. Call me tomorrow. I call tomorrow. He doesn't. It's like it's a cat and mouse for literally a year. And one day I was in I had my first Coterie show called Coterie in New York. It's like a shoe show. And I was there and I went to his booth. It was next door to mine. I was like, and I FaceTime. I was like, Steve, I was at your booth. And he's like, meet me tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're doing this deal. Had I not been there, had I not called him and thought to follow up again, who cares? I'm going to call him till his phone falls off. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be sitting here now, a year and a half later. So I mean, I think he respects that. He respects someone who actually is about their business because he's a billionaire, So he's not going to have anyone waste his time when it comes to collaboration. So I mean, people have to just go after it and keep going.
That was my next question, actually. What is your next kind of dream collab? I know you said Tom Ford, that would be amazing. I know you've done Steve Madden. Is there any other brand or maybe individual you're like, I want to see this person wearing my shoes, or I want to collab with this particular brand?
So I think honestly, so collab is really great. It's great people are doing that, and I've done a couple collabs, and of course with Steve, I have to keep going. But what I want to do now is I want to just now creative direct and advise and consult other brands, like so like almost
Mhm.
like Virgil for Louis Vuitton, Pharrell for
Mm,
Louis Vuitton. Not collab, just I have my own section on the website.
right.
I design that, and I'm pushing the envelope past what they're doing because a lot of these brands are so safe now. Like I'm doing custom shoes for celebrities. I'm talking A-list celebrities right now for the VMAs. And I'm like, well, what about that brand? Oh, they don't want to do. I'm like, they don't want to do. What do you mean they don't want to? They're bigger than me. They don't want to do custom shoes for
Yeah.
someone so
But they're not gonna go as probably as far as you. You're willing to experiment a little. They probably have
yeah.
like your standard, like, no, it has to look this way, it has to be in these colors, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't want to try, and they're like, and they also said, well, they don't love the celebrity doesn't love their vibe. It's very grandma. It's very chill. I'm like, yeah, I have the pulse. I have like the cool shoes. So
Mhm.
I really want to help these brands out because if they think they're gonna keep the urban culture, just even the culture in general, the pulse of the world, they have to evolve. And I think I want to bring them out of that safe space. So that's definitely the goal moving forward.
What would you say you're the most proud of with your brand of business so far? Like, I mean, I know so much has happened in the last whatever 5 to 10 years, but like, what so far? Like, if you were to say, I mean, I know, I'm sure there are a couple of things, but just off the top of your head, you were like, and it like you were just like, dang it.
Like wins or just like
And just like, I don't know, maybe like a win or a moment where you were like, okay, I can say I'm proud of myself. Like, not like a biased thing, like anybody would be proud of me.
Honestly, there's been so many moments. I mean, looking at my wall, I have like Sweetie, I have Rita Ora, I have Kylie 3 times, I have Kim, I have Heidi Klum, Sierra, I have everyone, Cardi B, Mary J. Blige. I mean, there's so
And
many
even you
people.
being in Nordstrom's, I mean, that's a big deal. Not
Yeah,
everybody can get in Nordstrom's.
no, Nordstrom's changed my life. I'm not gonna lie. That Nordstrom's changed my life to the beyond. Like I never thought I'd hit millions of dollars until Nordstrom. So definitely Nordstrom's. Hitting sales goals, but also the biggest thing I think I'd be proud of is never giving up. I mean, how many days have I said I'm quitting, even after the success? Like
Mhm.
people think it's easy to build a brand. Yeah, it's easy to build a brand to stay consistent, but maintaining the brand and where I am now is definitely the hardest. Definitely the hardest is right
For
here.
for for a big retailer, because I'm sure somebody's like, you should have asked her this. Do they reach out to you or can you pitch to them?
You can do both. So with
Okay.
no, so DSW was my first retail contact. They reached out to me, and then Nordstrom's reached out to me. In COVID, they reached out to me. They're calling my store, and like my girl's like, "Oh, Nordstrom's on the phone." I was like, "Huh? What do they want?" I'm like, what? I was like freaked out and scared a little bit, and they're
Are
like,
they
"Yeah,
like, did I do something?
yeah." So after that, I mean, we reached out after we got established with those brands. Sorry, with those retail stores, we then started using those names to then pitch other accounts that we didn't have. So my most recent account that I just received was Zappos. I'm now available on Zappos as like 2 months ago.
Mhm.
But Zappos was like I think they just said yes because of course our track record, but it also they didn't have us, everyone else did, so they were like, okay, let's do it. So things also piggyback off each other as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you thought maybe you were gonna be like a host or a correspondent. My question was gonna be like, if you hadn't done this, what would you have done? I
Oh,
know
for
everybody
sure.
you think that that's what you probably
Yeah.
would have
Like I
done.
was Joan Rivers in a past
You're
life.
like, I'm gonna have this mic and I'm gonna ask these questions. Yeah, like you said, everything happens for a reason. You at your TV days, like who's to say you won't be back on TV? Like you just never know the opportunities. So I like you said, my mom is always like, well, you went to law school and you have like all these podcasts and you have this production company, and you're doing all these things. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I've never been normal. Like I've never been like, and I'm not saying normal in terms of like I'm better than people. I just don't
Right.
hang like anybody else. Like everything I
Right.
do always has like a flair or like a twist.
Always.
So yeah, I definitely feel that sentiment. What was I gonna say? I know you mentioned in terms of the next 5 years, in terms of what it may look like in terms of maybe you being more like in house with people. I know you mentioned the purses. Would you ever go back to clothes?
It's crazy you say that because like I'm trying to now build out the next 5 years of being like a lifestyle brand. So honing it in back on like just different things that just make the Jessica Rich girl. It's a one-stop shop for everything you need. So we're slowly bringing back clothes, but like it has to be something that like I resonate with because not. I'm very basic. Like I'm very a lot, but I'm also very basic. I wear all black every day. I'll wear like sweatpants with like like a little top, like even though it's like jeans, but like the jeans are have diamond. It's like always like simple, but like a flash. Like almost like you said, you're very like it's a flair to you. So it has to make sense on what I bring back. It can't just be dresses and just random stuff. It has to be like basic necessity, both cutesy, but also like I don't know, Jessica Rich. I have to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel like the way your brain works is going to be just like how the shoes popped up in your mind. Just
Right.
how like people were like, oh, I really need bags to really match your shoes. Like I think it's just gonna come and it's gonna click. And you're like, aha, I've got
That's
it.
it.
So I definitely feel like it's gonna come to you that way. Okay, last couple of questions. These are like your favorites. I call it my favorite section.
Okay.
So I know you probably are your own favorite designer, but outside of yourself, what can someone, I know you say, you wear typical stuff with the flair, but what could someone typically see you in? What is kind of like your go-to designer outside of yourself?
You know what? I love my friends own Naked Wardrobe, so I'm not sure if you're
Yeah.
familiar with Naked Wardrobe. So I love their stuff, basics, like just simple. I'm really obsessed with this brand called overseas in London. It's a Manoir de Voir or something like that. Manoir de Voir. I'm not sure if you know the online store, but it's like an elevated Zara. I'm not big on designer and brands. Like I don't really buy a lot of like name brand clothes, to be honest. It's always shoes, Louboutin, of course, always.
Right.
Tom Ford shoes. Besides those two brands, I don't really buy anyone else's shoes.
Yeah, but it's so no, because right, you have your own shoes, right? But what is so funny, like you said, your shoes are so amazing. Whether they're yours or Christians, all you have to do is put a great pair of shoes on with an outfit, and it'll completely
right.
like no one
Thank
would know.
you. I love Balenciaga too. Love Balenciaga. Love Balenciaga. Yeah, people hate them because the whole whatever they have going on, but honestly, the press, I feel like it's just press and. You never know if they do things for a reason. It may not be like the best thing, but it keeps people talking no matter what it is, controversy or not. They're still Balenciaga.
Yeah, and their stuff is designed really well. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Like you said, it's just designed really well. So whatever you got to say, you can't say the stuff is designed very well.
Fact.
What's your favorite makeup brand?
MAC, 100% MAC.
MAC.
Love MAC.
What is your favorite hair care and then skin brand?
Hair care. So I wear extensions, Kendra's Boutique. I've been wearing her for a couple of years. Her extensions are amazing. And as far as like my natural hair, I usually take my extensions out every like month and do like, hot oil treatment, a cut, a trim. And I wear it out for like a couple of days before I put it back in. It's just too hard for me to maintain. It's naturally curling, just afro when I work out 4 times a week. So I can't ever wear my own hair out. Maybe one day when I'm like 50, 60, I can do it, but it's impossible. But I think natural hair is very important to still maintain underneath your weaves. And I think for skincare, people always say, oh, you have great skin, but my go-to is Clinique. My mom's been having me on Clinique since I was a teenager. It's literally like the foaming cleanser for your makeup, taking off the thickness of the makeup, the consistency of that. And then like a astringent, the toner is really good for your skin. That whole 3-step process, Clinique is the best for you, for sure. I love that.
If you could choose 5 items to put in your purse every day, again, it can only be 5 items, what would they be?
You want to see what's in my purse? Let's just talk about what's in my purse.
5 items. If you have like 5 items that can't do more than 5. I feel like it says a lot about someone's person. Like, what are the 5 things that you have to have in your bag?
Okay, only 5.
Like you got more than 5 things over there, Jessica.
Wait, only 5 things in general, or just could be makeup
5
too?
things. If you could only have 5 things.
This light is number 1. Cannot go anywhere without this light.
Yeah, my friend always sends her like, okay, that's fair. All right.
That's number 1. Number 2 is the brush for the hair.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like flyaways or something like that. Of course, we have to always have perfume because you never know.
That's 3. All right, you only got 2 more.
2 more? Okay, obviously the MAC compact to see myself, the blot, can't have a shiny nose. Only have 1 more left?
Yeah, only 1 more.
I'm a germaphobe. I gotta pick the same.
Okay. Right. Those are good 5.
Yeah.
Those are good 5. No, for sure. For sure. Last question. Is there anything else you would like our readers or our listeners to just be on the lookout? I know you just mentioned you recently talked about the purses. So is there anything else that's coming?
Yes. I'm super excited to launch my masterclass. This is something that's been in the making for the last, I would say, year. I launched it in January, a very premature way that I thought was gonna work. On my Shopify page, people were purchasing things. I was having them scheduled through like almost like almost like a Zoom link scheduling, and I was trying to make the calls, and I'm like, this is not working because I was like, my schedule changes by the minute. So what happened is my friend connected with this guy who does this for a living. So basically, we're doing a real build out of an actual masterclass that I actually recorded on a video. So it's gonna always like just go.
On
It's gonna,
demand.
yeah, it's like gonna be auto, but it's more than that. It's like a course. It's like workbooks. It's a community. It's a whole thing. And I've seen people do this on Instagram, like, oh, it's fake, it's fake. But people are actually making like great results from just giving back to their customers and letting them know that you can, stay in tune with what I'm doing and like ask questions and reach out and like my playbook, my factories. I have everything on there. It's gonna be great. So definitely
Now,
launching
is
that.
this masterclass for just design? Who is the masterclass for? Who can take it? Or who
No, for
should?
sure. It's called Behind the Brand. So anyone who's trying to build a brand from scratch or reinvent their brand, even if it's your personal brand, I teach you how to build your personal brand. So it's everything from anything you want to build, pens, you start your own
Yeah.
company, anything. It's all my every secret I've ever had is in this
Oh,
course. So yeah.
and not to give you any more ideas, and not that you don't have anything else to do, but I do think you should eventually write a book. Definitely think.
Oh, I need to. Girl,
Yes,
my book, people wouldn't even,
yes.
my
I,
book
I
is just
definitely feel like that. Like, not to give you anything else to do right now, but I think
yeah.
people would love to read a book from you because like I said, it'll just kind of be like I could just like open the pages and be like, see, this is what Jessica said. This is
I
what she
want to do it. No, I really want to do it. I
no.
was trying to find a ghostwriter to do it because I don't think I could
Yeah,
write it my
well,
own.
because you can sit with your ideas and they'll organize it. Trust me, I'm not my mother's ghostwriter, but she's doing a collection of short stories, a book that she's
Oh,
working,
really?
and it's taken forever because she doesn't want to sit down and write it. So I'm sitting there like her transcriber. I'm like, woman, I have other things to do other than this, but like she has an agent interested in some other things, so I'm trying to get her through it so that we can do what we need to do. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend like a ghostwriter that can like help structure it, and all you have
Can
to do is
you?
have an idea.
Oh, please. That'd
Yes,
be
yes, I'll
amazing.
definitely connect you with someone. Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Like I said, my readers and my listeners and the social media followers that have, listened to other interviews, I'm very picky about who I pick. And I was like, it's been taking me a second, like, can you email Jessica Rich again? I've been telling my team, I'm like, I really want her back on. And I want
Oh, thank you.
first person back for the fall. Obviously, I think people can find you everywhere at Jessica Rich. I'm assuming everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're Just Rich. We're Just Rich official on Instagram for the page for the brand, and then
Yes,
also justrich.com. Make sure you guys shop
yes.
the
She's
shoes.
got the shoes now, matching the bags. We appreciate you coming on. And until next time, everybody enjoy your fab life.